Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, welcome to our movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's talking to the TV with me tonight?
I'm Tiffany Albertin, and they're here.
Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity, and this podcast is clean.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know about that.
No, such a lie.
So we are here to talk about a movie that I've been meaning to do since Spooktober, but didn't get around to it because I did other stuff. Poltergeist, the 1982 version, not the terrible remake.
Awful, I hated it.
Directed by Tobe Hooper, sort of. And
Sort of.
we'll talk about that. Distributed by MGM and came out in 1982, as I already said.
Mhm.
So I've never seen this movie before. I've seen the remake a couple years ago because Tiff put it on for me and was very, 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 very upset with the remake. She hated it.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Did you like it?
I own it, haven't watched it.
I think it's just because I am too close to the original. Like, I
It is.
really, really love the original, and so I think that's why I hated it so much.
Yeah, because it was like, to me, I was like, oh, this is fine. Like,
You might like it, Ken, but it's like one of my favorite movies, so that's probably why I hate it.
yeah, there's some odd stuff to it. But I vaguely remember it. But yeah, so I've never seen this movie before. I just have I thought this was the movie, and I think it's a part of the story. When I was in elementary school, so it would have been like 3rd or 4th grade, one of my friends at the time, who was a dumbass and a liar, had told me about this ghost story that was real, and he told me it was real, where the person went into a mirror, but they tied themselves to a rope so they could go in the mirror to get something out of the mirror, but when they went inside, it was a room on fire. So I think he combined movies. And this was one of the movies that I thought he was referencing, but they don't go in a mirror, they go in a closet.
The other movie.
I don't know. I just remember that story, whether or not it's even
Firestarter?
never seen it. So who knows? I mean,
Baby Dream. It's awesome.
I do want to see it, but I've never seen it. So I don't know. I just know that that's some of the stuff that, like, that stuck with me. And I always thought that was this movie. And part of it was this movie, and that guy was a liar. So, yeah, that's my history.
It happened. Maybe they took it from this ghost story.
And Tiffany, what is your history with this movie?
I believe this is another one of my dad's movies. I watched it with my dad. It came out in the year I was born, but I don't remember how old I was when I watched it. But we watched it every time it was on TV, and it's
That bad for a kid.
I feel like Bill might let his son watch this.
Yeah, maybe.
He likes to talk about this.
Yes, he does. And Ken.
I don't really have much of a history with this. I didn't watch this until I was a good deal older, probably in my late teens. We're going to talk about it eventually, so I might as well bring it up now. Just don't care for Steven Spielberg. A lot.
That's fair.
I mean, that's fair.
But he didn't direct this, Ken. Wink, wink.
Well, see, he didn't.
But he did, kinda.
But he didn't, kinda. Like, he was a producer on it, and you read the stories, and for the longest time, everybody's like, oh, Steven Spielberg directed this to get around a contract thing with E.T. and bit. Steven Spielberg even came out and said, no, that's not true. Toby and I collaborated on this movie. And yeah, you can see that. You can 100% see that. Steven Spielberg's fingerprints are all over this movie. But he can't do what Tobe Hooper can do, and that's why Tobe Hooper's here. Because Steven Spielberg doesn't make horror. Tobe Hooper does.
What else has Tobe Hooper done? I don't
A little movie
recognize the
called
name.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe you heard of it?
Shut up.
Yeah, he directed the first one.
The first one? Oh, God.
The second one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got the stunt guy's signature from that one. That was fun. He was an asshole, though.
He also directed the Salem's Lot miniseries back in the late 70s.
I've never. They have a new one, don't they? A movie or something?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's a new movie. I directed Life Force, the movie Invaders from Mars. He did a lot of television work. Like,
Okay.
he directed The Mangler, based on the Stephen King story of the same name.
Don't know.
Weird movie.
I don't know any of these movies.
Probably not on the poster.
I mean, there's been some movies that we've never heard of on the poster.
Yes. I mean, I'm assuming Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on that poster.
I'm assuming.
Just because, I mean, that
Ken's not going to comment.
I don't want him to comment. That's a movie that I feel like I need to see someday, just because I don't want
The
to.
original?
Of course not.
Oh, the original one is funny. Well, not funny, but I like the crazy characters, the people that are eating people.
I mean, I'm dipping my foot into more and more horror.
Good job, Ken. It's all because of you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because you would never for me.
It's because of the podcast.
Yes.
Yes, but a lot of them were yours too.
Yeah, if Ken wasn't here, we would have a lot less horror.
Good job, Ken.
I can guarantee you that, because back when I had other co-hosts, we weren't doing horror movies.
No, he wouldn't.
I know. And then
So see, Ken,
it is affected by the people that are around me. But no, I'm happy. Like, this is a
of horror, and that didn't affect it. What the heck are you talking about?
She's not sorry.
No, I'm not. That's right.
So, I mean, this has been always one of those movies that I wanted to see. I've always been curious about Poltergeist, and I'm surprised we've never watched it sooner. Like, we watched the remake.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, like, you never said, hey, let's watch this. We watched that remake you wanted to watch. Like, we rented it, or somehow we watched it.
If it was streaming, I would have never rented it.
Or I downloaded it. It might have been early on in our relationship. But all I remember is that we watched it, and then you have never once...
It was here. We watched it.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
You never once mentioned it.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I mean, this movie's not scary. This is my kind of horror movie.
Yeah, I know. It's not really scary, no.
It has some moments, but...
Is the newer one scarier to you?
2014?
Yeah.
They use a drone. The word stupid is the word I'm looking for. I just remember watching, like, they use a drone, like, this takes away all the suspense. Oh, we're going to go see the other side. Just fly the drone in. Like, oh, no, we lost $100.
The main part I don't like is you see the other side, and, I mean, that's part of why I like it. Like, a lot of the movies from the 80s, they make
Well, yeah, they don't have the
your
money.
imagination.
They don't have the effects.
Even Jaws.
They don't have the effects.
That's from the 70s.
Close enough. Also Steven Spielberg. But no, I know, Ken, you mentioned before you're not the biggest fan of Spielberg. I am to a degree, but I could take it or leave him.
Well, Jurassic Park.
I love that movie, but that's...
Jurassic Park's great.
Yeah.
But, like, Steven Spielberg has a huge focus on, like, family stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but in a lot of his movies, there's a lot of family interplay. He directs a lot of his movies towards a sense of childlike wonder, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does. The next movie he works on is E.T., so...
Yeah. Like E.T. and the Indiana Jones movies. Those are straight up kids movies.
Yeah, but they're good kids movies.
I'm not
Don't
saying
judge me.
that they're not good. I'm just saying they're not for me.
Oh.
So does Schindler's List fall on that list of kids' movies there?
It's about families. Kinda.
I should really watch it someday.
You really should. I really enjoyed it.
Like, as a World War II guy,
Nielsen,
I think you're right. I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's black and white, so I never watched it.
Schindler.
And I know it's about, and I'm like, you know,
It's a true story.
I know.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to watch.
It really is. It's a tough one to get through. That one and A Boy in the Striped Pajamas or whatever. So that was hard. I cried.
I can watch my documentaries, but
I knew it was coming,
It was
but I
a little
cried
different.
anyways. It was a bad time for me.
so and Ken, what is the plot of this movie?
Oh, you're gonna ask me the plot of this movie.
Unless you want my version of it. I don't have one, but I can make up one real fast.
Fortunately, I actually do have one today. The Freeling family may call it home, but some things have been there longer, and they're angry. The Freelings enjoy their suburban subdivision life until voices from the television start a sequence of events that sees one daughter go snapped, a swimming pool polluted with bones, and a diminutive woman stealing the movie away from everyone else.
Yay! I love the voice you do when you do this. Uh-oh, we're in trouble now.
Our kitten just learned to climb higher.
To climb on the bookshelf. Look at him. He's like, it's the ceiling. He's obsessed with the ceiling.
So, Poltergeist.
Right.
So this movie started off, and I did not understand the significance of it until I was watching something else. So you see everybody sleeping, and then you see the girl come down to the TV, and I think also, or is the first shot the national anthem playing on TV?
The first shot is the national anthem playing on TV. That's
Okay.
what opens up the movie. And even though, like, you know about this and a lot of people talk about it, back in the day, which was a Tuesday, television didn't used to go 24 hours. They used to stop.
Mm-hmm. I
And-
actually kind of remember that when I was younger.
Yeah, like it was the thing when I was younger. And
And then infomercials were invented.
well, it was after infomercials, but really the 24-hour news cycle is the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Television stations used to sign off and play the national anthem. Just kind of as all right, we're done for the night.
Good night, America.
It's 2 a.m. What are you doing awake?
So that's basically what the national anthem was doing there.
It was just funny to me because I would not have known that's what it was. So I was wondering, like, why did the TV just go to the white screen? Where's the infomercials? Like, I was confused. But this is '82, so things were different. Because I usually didn't stay up that late, but I do remember with friends would stay up and if you had the TV just on, all of a sudden the infomercials just start. The random shit like, oh, you could buy this knife for $19.99.
I love that shit. When I couldn't sleep, I would watch that shit and get hooked.
So you just get turned off.
Oh.
But by the time that I would have done that, I would have been more like 13, 14, like a teenager. So we were looking at, I was getting more into early 2000s by then. So yeah. But no, I thought that's a nice touch. And I know it kind of fits the theme of this movie too, to kind of talk about Americanism and money.
Americanism.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically capitalism, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you think about it.
But I think, is it right in the beginning when she comes downstairs, she talks to TV, and that when she says they're here? Or is that later?
That's later that she says they're here.
Okay.
This one's starting who are you? You got to speak up.
I can't hear you.
I guess she
was... the little Carol Ann, the daughter.
I love Carol Ann.
I think she was 5 during this movie.
Was she?
I believe so.
So I saw online, she's pretty good acting for a 5-year-old.
Well, was she in anything before this?
I don't know. And Drew Barrymore
or something
played for this part too. I saw online when I was looking there.
She would have been decent, I think.
Well, Drew Barrymore got E.T.
Right.
I mean, that's what happened.
Fire starter.
She was in an episode of Fantasy Island that came out the year before this.
Oh, was she?
Okay.
Yes.
So little, extra little.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But she did a few things after this too. Then she did a bunch of TV episodes.
Yeah.
You would think she would have got another movie. She did a good job.
Got 2 other movies.
Yeah, technically.
Technically, yes, but that third one sucks ass.
There was a lot wrong with the third one.
Well, especially since she died before it was finished, so that makes it extra sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I don't like it.
I mean, I think the movie's just bad.
It is, too.
It is just a bad movie. They relied too much on everything that came before it. Much like 2 relied on this movie so heavily. It
wasn't bad. I didn't mind 2. It was okay.
But there was a shot that I didn't notice until the YouTube explained it to me. When you first see, when it shows the suburbia, when it starts panning in with the credits, there's a bunch of dead trees everywhere.
Yep.
And I didn't either. It's a simple thing, but when after the guy said it, then he played it, I was like, oh, now I see it. So, and I appreciated that.
That's why a podcast with Ken, he points out all the things they don't need.
Well, see, I didn't point that out.
Yes, it's true, but you usually do.
I don't know if you forgot my name, but...
So, I mean, another thing that they pointed out that I wouldn't have realized is that you're supposed to think it's a kid on the bike at first, and then when it zooms in, it's a big guy carrying beer.
I don't know how you're supposed to think that was a kid.
I mean, I did. When I was looking at it, before it got closer, I thought it was, a kid riding their bike.
Paid attention in the very beginning.
That kid has a beard.
I didn't notice that.
I mean, a lot of 14-year-olds have beards and are big.
No,
they're 30.
He had a full-ass beard.
Well, that takes a while.
But no, it was just kind of funny. He just comes with a beard, and then he tries to go, you see him go through one door, door's locked, go through a different door, and then he's spilling beer all over the house, and I'm just like, that's going to make a mess, buddy.
And this is really where you can feel the fingerprints of Stephen King, because the kid's doing stupid shit with remote control cars and tripping him up and making him spill his beer. That's such a Stephen King thing.
I know he wanted Stephen King.
I'm sorry, Steven Spielberg.
I'm so confused. Stephen King.
He wanted Stephen King to write this with him, but Stephen King was busy.
Oh, of course he was.
Busy doing anything else.
A plane? You can write on a plane.
Yes, but he didn't get the message in time, and Spielberg couldn't wait.
Oh, I see. That makes much more sense. You should have led with that.
I was getting there.
No, you weren't.
I was.
Okay. Go on, Ken.
See, it's a paradox. You never know if I was going to or not because you interjected.
Or shorter name's cat. How do you think?
I almost said that example today on the phone. But I had to stop myself, and I was like, well, you just don't. And I was like, short as cat. You just don't know. So it could be either or because we don't know for sure. And I'm like, stop. And I used a different metaphor, but I almost used that metaphor.
That was hilarious.
If they watch Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
I didn't want to take that chance.
Okay.
But I thought about it.
Anyway, Poltergeist.
So, on that remote thing, I forget. That was a thing, wasn't it?
Yep.
You could control someone else's TV with a remote.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That was very, very real.
Well, Mike can do that with a Roku, so.
Yeah, but not I mean, it was so stupid. He's like, "Oh, we're on the same frequency." And I want to be like, because like, and they're fighting over changing the channel.
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
I like Mr. Rogers.
You just get up and change the channel your damn self.
Right.
Oh, that's all they have to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, then what's the big like? Why are they arguing?
you know,
The remote
wow,
is the
I
problem.
feel really old right now.
I'm
That you
older
didn't
than
realize you like turn knobs on a TV.
I've done it before. It's
Then
been a
what-
long time. But if you can, and that's your problem, just turn the damn knob. Don't fight with the other guys in front of your backyard.
But they want to do that because they like the remotes, because it's the 80s and people were lazy and remotes were cool.
People were lazy? Is that what you're trying to say? 'Cause I don't
I'm
think that's-
saying everybody's lazy. Myself included. I have many remotes.
We have one that we lose, and then we use our phones. So, oh, just the thing with them fighting with the remotes was so weird to me.
It was fun. It was funny.
No, I mean, I think this movie does a good job of really trying to establish the family before it really gets any of the horror going.
It really does.
Mhm.
It's because without the family, I don't think this movie worked.
No.
No.
And all the actors were good in their role. Even the camera guys. I like the camera guys too. Sorry.
No, I mean, everything went well.
Yeah, like this. This is a solid cast for what it is.
Yeah, I really did appreciate it. I mean, it also has a way of setting tones. Like early on, right around here, you have the funeral or the bird, where she finds the bird is dead, and then she like was about to put her down the toilet, and the little girl just shows up.
Yeah, that's
down the toilet.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking that too.
harsh.
Like, why are you like just? I didn't like. What was the like? Why would you flush the bird? Like,
Burial at sea.
bird,
Yep.
bury it in the backyard,
you get rid of it.
or put it in the trash can. Don't put it down.
If you put it down the toilet, you can say it flew away, and you don't have to explain death to a 5-year-old.
I mean, that's fair. But then she finds out because she just sees her. She's like, "Oh no!" or says something.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Gotta
That do
honor
happen.
burial.
Which I thought was going to have a different effect when you see them, because later on, because they put the bird in a cigar box and they bury the bird, and later on you see the cigar box getting lifted up from when they're doing construction. Yeah, and I was like, because I knew partly what this movie is. I knew that like I already knew the twist that comes later, so I was waiting to see if there was gonna be like a part of a coffin or a body, like something that you see sticking out when they're doing that in that scene.
Is that because I told you?
No, I just known about this movie for a long time.
That's what we call foreshadowing in the
Right?
business.
Yes, 100%, I know. Like they do a lot of that. Like early on, you have the two kids going to sleep, and you see that stupid tree it has right outside his window. It looks like a damn face on that tree. No, it was on purpose, 100%.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Ours is made out of plastic, and we screwed it on like 4 years ago.
So it looks like it's going roar.
It looks like the trees from Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, it does.
Ah,
I dressed it up. I should get some Valentine glasses for it.
They just fall off. We just leave it there. We just left it like that, and I wonder what people think. They go by, and go, "Oh, what the fuck?"
They walk in our house. They're like, "Does your tree have a face?"
Yes, it does.
hey, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just make sure you don't touch it too much.
I do like how they have because you have to get to see the parents in bed. I know there's another kind of theme where because the father is reading some newspaper or something that says talking about Reagan.
He's reading
I
a
was like-
book about
I was like,
Reagan.
why didn't it say the villain? That should have been in there too.
Because to many white people, he wasn't the villain.
He started a war that we lost called the War on Drugs.
Yeah, well,
That was
we're
his
not here to
wife,
talk
wasn't
about
it?
Ronald Reagan.
Wasn't that his wife?
It was him and his wife. Just say no.
Hey, no. Is that how Dare came up?
I think Dare has something to do with them, but Dare's later, so I don't know. I can't remember, but Dare was useless too. Dare helped people. Hey, this is the drugs to take.
Yep.
But Dare didn't keep people off drugs. Help people get on drugs. But I do like how and the funny thing you even mentioned that, and also she's smoking weed in the background.
Yeah,
So that made me just laugh too.
it was nice.
It's nice, but wouldn't that be under Reagan a criminal like lock you up for 30 years just because you have a joint?
Yeah, probably, but like, and I hate to say it, they're white.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
You're not
different,
wrong.
and it's really sad, and it's a thing.
no, 100% is the whole reason why weed was illegal had to do with money and racism. So
Yeah,
and they didn't like hippies. There's anti-war. A lot of people that are anti-war were smokers, so it was a way to get rid of the people they didn't like.
well, I mean, in all fairness, who does like hippies? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But I thought it was cute when the son can't sleep and you keep seeing that ugly fucking clown in
That's
the
cute,
chair.
the ugly
No, it's cute that the son comes to bed. I hated that clown.
His thunder lightning trick did not work.
Oh, you count? No.
Because it got closer. My parents used to have me do that too.
That's how you know that something's wrong and it's not like a normal storm. Because it shouldn't be getting closer and then further and then closer again.
So it does both?
Is wrong.
I did not catch that.
See, Ken's here to point things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I
why
don't
you
even
guys
have to watch
pay
the
me the
movie.
big bucks.
Ken's gonna point it out for me.
I have to watch the movie. That's how this show works.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say you. I said me.
Oh,
It's about broadening horizon.
There you go.
I mean, it really is for me. Like, that's one thing this podcast does a lot of. I mean, another cute scene is when and a little bit, then like the movie pans and you see both kids in bed. Neither of them could sleep and they ended up in bed with the parents. I thought it was a cute little moment. I mean, it's again making you care a lot more about this family that's about to go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. Okay, this is when she wakes up and she's talking to the TV because they have the white screen again. I mean, do people not turn off the TV in the 80s? Even as a kid, I hated white noise. I hated that screen. That TV went off immediately if it had got that screen.
We have white noise in our bedroom.
It makes the sounds of water, thunderstorm. That's okay. Now, there is a sound we're going, and that is not allowed.
We call it snow.
And we call it terribleness. There's only a couple horror movies that have really traumatized me when I saw White Noise. I've only seen it once, and that movie fucked me up.
What was that?
Great movie.
Yes. I
never
have
heard of
Michael Keaton. Has to do with ghosts and the TV White Noise. Yeah. But that movie I couldn't sleep after I watched that movie. This was back when I had tube TVs. Now I'm not where there's no tube TV. They can't come get me. So, but
You're stupid.
this part would have bothered me as a kid where she says, there he.
And that's probably the most famous part of this movie.
He never knew what I was referencing. I say that line a lot.
I knew kinda, I think. I didn't know I knew what it was from. I didn't know the context of it.
Well, see,
I
now
knew the
look at
little
all
girl
this
said it.
Delicious context you have.
When the ghost hand came out of the TV, I started laughing because it looked like I was watching a cartoon.
I know, he said that.
It did. It looked like a cartoon. I mean, it's fine.
It was the 80s.
I know. I liked it. It wasn't bad. It just made me chuckle.
Like, I'm pretty sure that they did have to animate that.
Well, yeah, they couldn't have a real one.
Like, I think it had to be traditional animation. It looks like it.
Yeah. I think it's fine. It's just a little goofy.
Maybe if you had a really talented smoker, they could still smoke in the shape of the hand.
That would be what the vaping people would do nowadays. But that wasn't around back then with their custom rigs. Yes, it was meant to irritate you. Why I said it like that. As a smoker, I figured all that stuff irritates you.
You're a cigarette smoker, Ken?
Yes, I am.
I'm a vapor.
That's how I get this voice.
You weren't born with that sexy voice?
Years and years of tobacco use.
He said nope.
All I do is sit here and smoke all day long.
I mean, the cat is stretching, and how about the jump? So, and then you have them at breakfast. I don't have too much other in my notes for that. I just put breakfast.
Well, breakfast is where weird stuff starts happening. Like the chairs start pushing themselves up the table. And this is where Carol Ann mentions the phone or the TV people.
I really like the chair thing where she gets upset about the chairs not being pushed in. And then all of a sudden the chairs are on top of the table. I really like that.
This one on number 2 mixed up because I thought this is where she talked on the phone to her dead grandma.
No.
That's number 2?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
number 2. Yeah, it's definitely number 2. The construction worker thing, I have a couple comments for that where this is very 1982. One, I like the part where they come in the house, like the guy comes to the window, he's drinking her coffee and eating her food. And he's like, oh, you got great food, Mrs. Whatever. Like, that was funny. The part when they're hitting on the high school girl when she's going to school, the oldest daughter of that, I'm kind of like, eh. 82.
Yeah, like catcalling the daughter, nah.
But it's also the daughter of the guy that you work for-ish, or work with. Because they all work for the same company.
Yeah.
Well, the construction workers are at least at the moment, contracted out working for the real estate company that's selling these houses.
I didn't really.
So, I mean, that's the part that makes it worse. It's one thing if just some random guy see this girl, okay, like, maybe they don't know, but they know exactly who she is and everything. Like, it's a little...
She came out of the house.
Yeah, I know, but they know, but that's also, that's where, it gets a little too... It's one thing where I can buy ignorance if you're making cat calls to an underage woman because you don't know and you're a dumbass. It's another thing when you know and still are making... That's where that bothers me. That makes sense, I think.
Yes, it doesn't bother you if they mistake her for an older person?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you know somebody's like 16, you're like, oh, and you're obviously in your 20s or 30s, yeah, you are what's called a pedophile if you decide to go any further with that.
Got the vibe that they had this interaction before.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That doesn't make it better.
No, but they knew what she was going to do, and that's probably why they did it, because they thought it was funny.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's
And,
just...
like, the mom didn't have a problem with it. I don't think it was like...
That's what I'm saying.
I know. This is just me being me.
The first time it happened, the mom and the daughter probably cussed them out, and now it might be like an inside joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 82, so it's going to be seen as more harmless than the way I'm looking at it in 2025.
I mean, it's still gross. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, but
ugh.
I do like, though, there's a little scene with the dog where the dog is getting upset at the wall where the ghost went in, because, of course, I think he's just sitting on the bed barking at the wall.
Yeah, let's talk about that dog real quick.
I like the dog.
The dog's name is E-Buzz.
Like the actor dog or the character dog?
The character dog.
How do they call him that? Or you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did they really?
You remember when you had the movie on, you had like this rectangle device in your hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
I've seen it a million times.
You're like not 1,000,001.
But
You're
like,
stupid.
that is the worst name for a dog?
Wait, what is his name?
E-Buzz.
E-Buzz?
Yes, E.Buzz.
What the fuck would you name your dog E-Buzz?
I don't know.
Is it from something?
I don't know.
I mean...
And I don't care enough to look it up because it's
I totally am.
stupid.
They should name their animal something cool like Morpheus. Hey, I like that name for our little black kitty. And he does sneak around. Well, he would be sneaking around if he didn't have a bell attached to him. And he doesn't like sleep anymore. So then you have a little bit. You have one scene of the father showing that he's a salesman and he's trying to sell a house and kind of going through and like, oh hey, look, I live at one of these, and it's kind of cool. Apparently, E-Buzz is a show in 2005.
Oh, then that wouldn't work out.
No.
Sorry.
No, apparently the dog's name comes from a Saturday Night Live skit where Dan Aykroyd played an art critic named E-Buzz Miller.
Oh.
So, like...
That makes sense.
No, it doesn't. No kid would name their dog after a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Come on now.
I'm with him. Nobody should.
Whatever.
That's just stupid.
We have a Romeo and a Juliet.
Yeah, named off famous literature. That also has happened to be in the Sandman book, too. Not Romeo and Juliet, but Shakespeare.
Point being, it's a stupid name for a dog.
Ken gets us back on track every time.
I really do like when he's driving home at night and they focus on the sky for like a couple seconds and it's just so eerie looking. It's like a bright orange sky or something. But I remember it was like that got my attention.
That sky is doing all sorts of heavy lifting throughout the entire movie.
Yes.
Like there is all sorts of fuckery going on in the sky. And it's great. Like it's very good at giving a sense of foreboding, which I like. I like it when a movie's like, hey, everything kind of sucks here, and we're going to show you slowly through the use of the sky.
Is the storm, like, everything that's happening is really just a movie? That's how it kind of felt. Okay. There was a novelization that came out where they went more into, it wasn't just the Freelings home that was being haunted. Okay, that makes sense.
But the birth of Carol Ann caused the activity to be focused on the Freelings house.
Interesting.
And since they were the first house that was bought and she was born in that house, it's safe to say that she was the first person born in this area.
Is she supposed to be 5 in the show, or is she supposed to be like 4-ish?
No, she's supposed to be 5.
5.
I think.
I mean, yeah, they don't ever say, but yeah.
No, they do.
Oh, they do?
When they're being interviewed by the college people, they ask for the name and ages of everybody. I'm pretty sure they said 5.
I know the actress said 5, so it probably was 5.
Perfect for the...
And then when he comes home, they have that chair experiment, which I like this scene where the mother's all excited and she shows him how the chair moves from one side to the other.
That's wild.
She puts a helmet on Carol Ann and she...
I like how it's a Los Angeles Rams helmet, and I was like, are they in St. Louis? Because I know the Rams are LA now, but I forgot the Rams were LA, then St. Louis, now they're back in LA. They were St. Louis when I was in the 90s and stuff.
I don't watch it.
That's fine. I didn't watch the St. Louis Rams either. I just knew of it, so that got my attention.
Okay, that's
some things I know. But because they never, or maybe they did say what city and state it was. I didn't realize at this point, so I was like trying to go based on other things. And a football helmet is a good example.
I'm not sure if they ever say what city it was.
It's definitely
It seems-
California.
Yeah.
So
we know
they've
that the
been there.
community is called Cuesta Verde.
Yes.
I think that's all. Maybe that's all we get.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And then this is also but it is cute when she has the girl when she has little Carol Ann do the experiment, and and then she goes across. Like, it is cute. Apparently, there's a cut here, or there's a deleted scene that was supposed to be here. Was that real?
I don't know.
I was watching
about it.
YouTube, and they said that there's like a real drastic cut right here in this scene. And apparently, when she says we'll get Pizza Hut, and he said I hate Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut got upset,
Oh.
so they cut it.
I mean that
That's
could
fair.
be. But
I mean-
like it seems like reasonable though. If you see some weird shit happening, you're gonna want to check with your neighbor and be like, "Hey, is this just me, or do you have this too?"
And they don't really come like to check things out until the end when their house is like being swallowed.
Well, they don't give a shit about their neighbors. I
Well,
mean,
no,
that's fair.
but you would think there has to be something that you can see on the outside with all this activity. Or
I mean,
hear.
even later on when there's a lot of activity, they, like Ken's right, they don't really seem to pay a lot of attention.
That's rude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't pay a lot of attention to what my neighbors do. My dog does, unfortunately.
I do too. I'm nosy.
She tells me when somebody decides to open the garage next door to me sometimes, and I'm like, it's fine.
We share a wall with our living room wall with their garage.
And then there was nobody living there for a while, so every so often my dog had to get used to the fact that, yes, people live next to us again.
She's upset.
So she's so upset when people drop packages off. Oh, that's the devil, she thinks. She's a good dog.
Anyways.
But I really saw, and this is the next part. The son is in the bed, and you see him trying to sleep. You see that ugly fucking clown again. Really don't like that clown. Apparently, there was supposed to be a scene where he got that clown as a present in a birthday party. Either wasn't, I don't think it was shot or wasn't, but there was something like that's why that clown was there. And it was originally like the original script. That's what I heard online.
That seems like an unneeded scene, though.
That's why it's not there. But I just wish they got rid of the clown. Don't like the clown. Don't like clowns either.
Well, to be fair, the little boy don't like him either.
I know, that's why he's in it. Throw it in the fucking closet and burn it. I don't like dolls, like that type of stuff, if you haven't noticed yet. I have an issue with that.
He won't let me take my auntie's doll with us.
Nope, I have an issue with dolls. But I do gotta say, I really appreciate the son's bedroom, how there's all like the Star Wars stuff in there. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff in there. It's great. It makes me happy.
I like the
Star Wars.
C-3PO light switch thing.
Me too.
And that's
Me
pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah, he even has Han Solo's blaster at one point he's playing with in the movie. He's got Darth Vader poster. There's a broken TIE fighter that you see in a little while that gets thrown across the floor.
I wonder if somebody's friends with George Lucas.
I know. Who would have thought? I know that's why it's there, but I still appreciate it. So it was just good, and I had to make sure I mentioned it in here. And this is when the movie starts. This is when the movie becomes a horror movie. But the tree outside that you see earlier that the kid was kind of like nervous about breaks into the window and grabs the kid and then tries to eat him.
Does he try to eat him?
He's going inside the tree.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
like-
sure.
Tree's pulling him in. He's done for.
Maybe he just wanted a friend.
That is a really creepy. Everything with this is so fucking creepy. With the tree trying to pull him in, and then when they're outside trying to fight with the tree, you have the closet that is trying to take in the girl. Closet? Oh, okay. But that scene also bothers me. Like, it's a good scene, but that would be terrifying that your closet just sucking in everything in your room, and then you're just trying to hold on.
Why
And this is
So why, when they save him from the tree, is he like covered in boogers?
Because he's crying.
No, like, you know what I mean. Like, head to toe, he's covered in,
Like tree boogers?
I don't know, some sort of slime that kind of looks like blood with yellow pus and
tree stuff.
tree sap. Okay, sure.
Sure, why not?
The part that got me is
I know,
at
I
one
was
point you
looking
see
at
his
it too.
face and there's no cut on his nose, and the next scene you see him, there's a big cut on his nose.
It took a while to develop.
It wasn't there in one of the after scenes after the tree.
I noticed.
I know, and I saw it.
And you,
But there was definitely a scene where that happened. And I chuckled. And then the tree is taken, well, they get the kid out of the tree, and the tree is taken by a tornado, which I felt was weird.
Yeah, Tree just fucks off. Never to be heard from again.
And I like how they're like, oh yeah, the tornado must have been centered. It only hit here. I'm like, yeah, isn't that a little strange there, guys?
That
That's not how it
happens.
works. Does it?
That does happen.
Where it hits one house?
Yes.
Yeah.
When touchdown, then it like leaves. Yeah.
Yeah. Tornadoes
Well,
are
that's
weird.
Right.
So,
They are.
I mean, this tornado had more of a supernatural sense to it, but yes. So,
Yeah, 100%. This was a spooky tornado.
and the fear when they go back in the room to try to find Carol Ann, and they can't find her, and they start freaking out. I mean, all that's completely realistic. And I love how they get to the end of the closet, and they go to grab the blanket, like, oh, good, she's here. And it's the fucking clown again underneath the blanket.
You and this clown.
It bothered me.
I can see.
And later on, it really bothered me.
I can tell.
I like Stephen King's It a lot, though, by the way. That doesn't bother me.
The what?
Stephen King's It.
Oh, I have no idea
I love that
what
movie.
you just said, so.
That is
That's okay.
so weird.
I've seen Killer Clowns in Outer Space. I don't have a clown phobia. I just
It's
don't
because
like
it's a
clown doll.
Doll.
It is. It's the doll part. I don't have a problem with
It's
clowns. I have a
because
problem
it's
with
a doll.
dolls.
Oh man, I
Right.
cannot wait until we have to cover Annabelle.
Yes, it's going to be on there. Don't tell me, but I know it's going to be on there.
I've never seen
see.
Annabelle. I never want to see Annabelle.
Wouldn't it be awful if the poster made you do it?
Well, hey, the rate we're going, I won't have to worry about it. So,
Scratch it off right now. Ken, show me where it is.
Nope.
so, but them trying to find her, and then when they realize, hey, try the pool, and that's really
like-
gut wrenching too, because
Yeah,
like
the
it makes
fear,
sense if she could have fallen in the water and drowned. I was surprised how deep that pool is in that one section.
Yeah. Well, it's
I mean,
decent.
Yeah, and they had rained a lot.
It still felt too deep.
It only came up to like his waist, not like his chest.
Yeah, but he was deep under. He was in underwater, or not underwater, but like in the water. I don't know. It just seemed deeper than.
It's deeper than it should be.
Yes, but it's Robbie who figures out that she's in the TV, which I like that though. The boy puts it together and she
Yeah.
starts talking to him through the TV.
It's just a weird thing. I want to give a props to that little actor who played Robbie. After that whole tree scene throughout this whole thing where they're trying to find Carol Ann, he straight up looks traumatized.
It
Mm-hmm.
really does.
Like, that is how people look when they are just destroyed. And
He pulls it off.
He does.
pulled it off real well.
So I was thinking for the next scene, do you think the father saw a commercial that said, if you got problems, oh God, I wish I should have Googled this before I started this skit. Saw a commercial, who are you going to call? And are you having night terror? I don't remember what the fuck they say anymore, damn it. But that's what I thought of. This whole thing reminded me of Ghostbusters. Like, I expected to have Peter Venkman sitting across from them being like, okay, so what's on the card? That's what
So,
it's like.
fun thing about that, Ghostbusters comes out 2 years from now.
I know. And it made me wonder if someone's like,
I mean, look, a lot of movies have a
Supernatural.
debt to this.
no, and I get that. I did not realize that. I didn't realize how important this as a horror movie is too, for the whole like ghost story.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is an important movie. Like, I'm happy that this is going to be part of the catalog of the show because this movie feels important. It changes a lot of things and sets a lot of tones for what comes in the future.
It really does. This is, while it wasn't a movie that was fundamental in making the PG-13 thing happen, it probably should have been.
100% should have been PG-13.
Is it PG?
It's PG.
Yeah.
Is it now? What is it now?
I'm assuming PG-13 by now. But did they re-rate movies?
Yeah.
No?
They re-rate them, right? Yeah.
No?
No, they don't?
Some maybe.
Oh.
Some maybe, but this one wasn't one of them.
I mean, you don't really hear about ratings that don't really matter anymore, I feel like.
They really don't.
No, they don't.
But, this is a hard PG.
Yeah.
PG, parental guidance.
Yeah, you got some messed up stuff going on here.
No, and this movie tricks you too, so
Tricks.
I'll get to it in a little bit. But yes, it tricked me.
Oh, okay.
So if I could tell how long the movie is, I'm like, hey, the movie's not over yet. But this is after they talk with these special investigators, or paranormal investigators. They bring them to the house, and that's when they show her the kids' room where everything is moving. I think I like the special effects for 82 in this. I know you can really tell
Things on strings.
yeah, but I like it. I thought it was good.
But I like when they're going up there, the cameraman's like, oh, yeah, I watched a car go across the floor. It took 8 hours. And they're like, huh? That's
And he opens the door and there's this freaking thing spinning in the air. It's really good. Or I think right after this, when they go downstairs, they say, well, it could have been an isolated incident. And then the teapot or something moves across the table.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
They do that a lot.
But it works in this movie.
It does. It does. It's it's not bad yet. It's still funny.
Mm-hmm. Besides the girl missing, nothing has gotten too terrible yet for the family. There is a thing that I was thinking of, because she's missed. They don't tell anyone that she's missing, and she's missing for a few days, at least. And I was thinking about it when I was watching this movie. I'm like, if you didn't tell the cops, and I mean, yes, they wouldn't have believed you, but if you don't get her back,
Murdered your child.
and a couple weeks go by, your asses are going to jail.
Well, this
John Benet
was yeah. I was going to say this was well before John Benet Ramsey.
Oh, that story is messed up. everything with that is so
That
strange.
was in the 90s. Why don't you remember that?
I was too busy running around
My
being a
dad
kid.
was addicted to seeing.
See, my dad just watched like the 9 o'clock news or whatever, like, and that was it. Or no, he used to do is every top of the hour, he would turn on a certain station on the radio, and he'd get 5 minutes worth or 5 minutes worth of news. I hated it. I used to complain, like, can we just have music? So yeah, that was my news I got.
All
I
right.
don't remember that, unfortunately. And then I think someone tries to talk to Carol through the TVs or something, and then Carol Ann. And this is when one of the investigators goes to her, tries to go in her room, and there's a giant bite mark on his side where the thing that's like the ghost just did not let him in there.
You are not allowed.
Yeah,
But
that was messed up.
I was like, okay, now that they're showing that they can physically hurt them too.
Yeah, don't mess with this ghost.
Which, I mean, it's also a very common thing with any kind of ghost stories. Like, is the ghost able to physically touch you, or is it just able to, mess with things electronically a little bit? Or move things, but it can't actually, like, cause you harm?
My ghost did electronics.
I believe that they can mess with electronics because I think ghosts, whatever they are partly, there's electricalness to them.
Her name was Eloise.
You want to tell the story since you started?
In my first apartment, I had a ghost. I was convinced I had a ghost because I had a dream of a lady hovering over me, but she had like a bonnet and a long nightgown on. And then, so like I
I'm
said,
pretty sure that wasn't a dream.
that's what I immediately said.
Your mind just said, it's a dream. Go back to sleep.
And she messed with electric, and like my neighbors were like, your radio's been on all day, and so it wasn't plugged in and it didn't have a battery, but it wasn't playing when I went in.
After she turned it off.
Because she turned it off.
So I believe in all that stuff. I 100% believe in ghosts. I've had some experiences of weird things happen that I couldn't explain, so I believe all in that.
You should work at a senior facility. Sorts of weird.
Hey, tell some of your stories real quick. It fits the topic.
It does. Let's see. The most common was if you had a resident that like pressed their button a lot. I swear, like a week after, their button would be going off and there's nobody in that room and nobody had that button.
Or the time where you're working night shift and you saw somebody walking on the other side of the building.
I did, and the tablecloths moved. Yep, I thought that was around it was Halloween night. So I never watched Halloween night again.
So, no, I just seemed like the perfect time to bring some of that stuff up. Ken, do you have any ghost stories in real life happen to you?
I have plenty, but I'm not going to share them.
Okay, no problem. Well, I like Ken's stories. Like, I still want to hear about the vampire that Ken was involved with.
We got the Cliff Notes, okay?
Yeah, we're not getting any more, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Until we get Ken drunk and dude gains my mouth on after dark.
We should do that.
So, I was surprised. I mean, this part, like, so you have the whole family sleeping downstairs, and I want to be like, maybe you should leave your house.
No, their daughter's there.
Oh, okay, never mind. I would send my kids away still. I have other kids.
Yeah, I would.
I would stay, but I would send my wife and the kids away.
I would have sent the little boy away. I mean, they
do it a little bit.
will eventually.
So the grandmother isn't dead yet.
Whatever.
But this is when shit starts hitting the fan, almost literally. So you have a couple really good horror scenes that I didn't appreciate, but they're still good scenes. When the one investigator goes to get the chicken bone.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Oh yeah, that one's fun. He has
and then
the steak starts crawling and
May gets on the chicken.
Gross.
And then the bathroom scene right after that.
Yes,
that wasn't that bad.
What?
I didn't say it was bad.
I know. Imagine 82 would have felt more realistic.
I didn't say it was bad. I just liked it.
I know.
Pull off his face.
Oh, can you just imagine going through that? Like, for that moment, your heart just got to be beating like a mile a minute.
No, it didn't for Tiffany.
No, I mean, like, the person, if that was you, like, you're all of a sudden, you're just, like, ripping at your face.
Tiffany thought it was hilarious.
I believe that.
I still
Thank goodness for hallucinations, though.
Right?
Because that's all it was.
But, I mean, I do like that idea that the ghosts are able to make them hallucinate and start fucking with them. I think it works for it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a good scene, and it starts to really uptick what they're going through.
And that was the guy that didn't come back, right? She was
like, he came back.
No.
Oh, he leaves?
When she says, me and cameraman so-and-so will come back, but Keith, or whatever his name is, will not be joining us.
Oh, I didn't realize he didn't come back.
No, he didn't come back after that.
I get it. I mean,
think the guy that got the bite out of him.
It's the same guy.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just kidding. No wonder he's not coming back.
He got bit, and then he decided to have some food. I guess that's what we get for eating someone else's food, huh?
Right. I was like, that's...
Don't take the food out of the fridge. So, was the guy... So, then you see I don't remember the black guy's name, who's watching the camera, but I put in my notes that he was sleeping. I don't think he was sleeping. I think he was just paying attention to something else when
He was, yeah.
upstairs is going... Like, the smoke starts coming out of the room, and, like, there's lights and things like... Where the apparitions start moving around.
He was looking for cars that move a foot in 8 hours.
I thought the upstairs was on fire when you first start to see the smoke.
Yeah, like upstairs is not a great place anymore.
No, it's the forbidden zone.
But that scene with the ghost coming down the stairs, that was still good.
That was a good scene.
Even in this, like, it's still good.
It reminded me of the little alien people in Cocoon, kind of.
Oh wow, there's a movie I haven't thought about in forever.
I love
She brought it up a few times to me.
80s girl, obviously, because I like Batteries Not Included. I like Cocoon. All them other.
You can tell what you were watching a lot with your dad, huh?
Yeah.
So.
I think that was when we had HBO or whatever it was.
It's just a good scene with the ghost. It seems I really like the way they portrayed it in the special effects.
Now, supposedly that ghost is the one that's kind of keeping Carol Ann as safe as possible.
Oh, wait, which ghost? There was like a bunch of them, wasn't
The
there?
lady ghost that was coming down the staircase.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because the other one is the Beast, which is the monster that we see a couple times that was supposed to be an old man's face originally.
Oh.
But then I guess that was shot down.
Well, it looks cooler the way it is now.
It does
Yes.
look cool the way it is. But was it when they came down the stairs, there wasn't more than one person?
I think it's supposed to be one ghost, but just...
When they showed it on, so they...
It was multiple bulbs, so like multiple globs of light.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm making things up. I swear I saw like a person with a hat on and like a lady with a...
I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's also a combination of 1982. It's a combination of your brain filling in blanks and and looking for things that make sense, and they do make sense.
I saw the lady first come down, but then when they showed it...
I mean, it could be. I unfortunately don't have the movie playing because I don't have Paramount logged in.
Camera, like it was different little orbs that to me looked like different
I mean, it could
people.
have been just the lady is the one that's protecting her.
Yes, that could be. That's true. It's Fairy Godmother.
I don't think Fairy Godmother is the ghost that keeps you from getting killed in the TV world, but hey.
Glinda the Good
whatever.
Witch. Keep going.
I do like that the next morning comes, they sent the boy away. Even though he comes back a little bit later, but they send him away. Like, he should be gone the rest of this movie. Like, not that he's good, bad or anything, but just because, like, I would never let my son come back in this house.
He's
Well,
terrified.
he's traumatized. Like,
right? Just
Yeah. So I have a
not.
story that I had forgotten about, but this movie reminded me of with my son when he was like 5 years old. Something had happened where he got terrified and wouldn't come back into the basement where we live. He would not go down the stairs.
did you figure out what it was?
We think a spider, but I don't think that was true. We don't know. He just all of a sudden he was fine. He saw something, he screamed, and he would not go back downstairs. And we had to stay at a hotel for a few nights.
Oh my.
And then even then, the only way we were able to take him back, get him to go back down, was to get him medication. He was kind of drugged up a bit, and then he came back, and he was willing to come back down, but he was terrified for some reason. And then it just went away. Never happened again. Yeah, but it freaked the hell out of me, that's for sure. And it made me think of this, like, I always wondered if he saw something.
Did his great grandma die before or after that?
After. Pretty sure.
Dang, there goes my theory.
Pretty sure. Yeah, it was after. It was just a weird thing. But back to Poltergeist. This is when the boss stops over. And he makes a comment. He's like, "Oh yeah, you haven't been to work lately. You've been sick." And
You look awful.
he's like, "And your daughter hasn't been to preschool because my daughters are in the same thing with her and they haven't seen her."
Yeah, that boss is something else, man.
It's capitalism.
But like
At its finest.
that whole "you look like shit" line, man. Shout out to the makeup people because he does look like
He
shit.
really did.
Mm-hmm.
Like bad. And he looks like realistically messed up. Like he's been going through it and it's been causing him some problems.
Well, he has been going through it.
He's definitely been going through it. I mean, he pulls it off well. Like you're right. The makeup artist did a really damn good job for this part.
He's a decent actor,
He is. He is so decent. He even had a long-running TV show.
right?
Hey,
I've never heard of Coach before.
So good. He also happened to be in a really good show called Young Sheldon too.
His show was also a comedy. We should brush that up.
Anyway,
If I get the chance to make Young Sheldon or Big Bang Theory jokes, I will.
I know you will.
By the way, about that poltergeist.
So I do like how the boss is like, oh, we'll give you this because he thinks he's going to leave him. I think he's going to quit and get a different job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I do like how he makes comments like, you sold 43% of all the houses down there yourself.
Yeah, which is baller.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. Like, and when he said, we should have made you partner 3 years ago. Yeah, you fucking should have. Jesus Christ. The only reason you guys are selling things is because of him. Like, without him, you don't have a planned community. You need to put a ring on it.
I mean, no, Ken, it's the CEOs that are sitting behind the office. They're the ones that did, not the worker.
Can you imagine if he quit? That'd be. He did eventually, but still.
I always just think of Elon Musk, how he runs like he's the CEO of like 3 or 4 different companies.
And he just sits there.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk about him.
We won't talk to him.
No, he won't talk to me, I'm pretty sure.
Good.
Never know. You'll get him on a tangent.
I don't think that's going to happen. But I really do like when they go up to the top of the hill where the cemetery is, and he's like, oh, we're going to build up here, and we can put your house up here, and you can overlook down there, and I really do like that. Like, that's a good scene when he figures, when they, and he even makes that comment, which I know is another thing that stuck with this movie, which I thought was true, which is not, is that he makes comments like, oh, it wasn't that we weren't built, it's not like we were built on like a Indian burial ground or anything, which I didn't realize was like a reference to Pet Sematary and a couple other movies that did it before this.
Well, I mean, the book Pet Sematary did it before this, I think.
So, and I had always thought that's what this movie was. It was built on, I mean, again, never seen this movie, just, through the grapevine type of thing that I thought it was. And then it turned out like, okay, I think it was just they took that line and took the opposite of it and ran with it.
The book Pet Sematary came out a year after this.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating, actually.
So, like, it's interesting. The idea of cursed ground is
100% believe in that.
It's not specific to any one culture. And given the fact that, oh boy, America's got some problems with how we got this land. Like, it's not entirely unbelievable to think that we got some kind of blood curse on this country.
No, I believe that more and more. So,
wow, I'm not going to comment on that.
But I really do like the cemetery thing. And he's like, oh, yeah, we moved. I mean, I don't think he said we moved the cemetery, but he doesn't say this is before it comes up that he realized they didn't move the bodies. Oh,
man. And that is based on a real thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Yeah. It was an actual event. And, oh, God, what was it? Somebody was paid to move a cemetery. They did just move the headstones, but they got the whistle blown on them. They got taken to jail. It was a whole thing.
Oh, it was before this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Why is that cool?
Cool. Hey, they got arrested.
Yeah, they did get arrested, which is good.
I mean, I get it. You're like, hey, they're not going to care. They're dead, but still,
what did they get charged?
Eventually, they're going probably larceny. I mean, he took money for a job he didn't do. It's probably part of it. So.
Yeah, but I don't know.
When they go back to the house, this is when they bring in the psychic that you really like, Tiffany. You were like, yep, you made a comment something about her right away.
I like this character. The lady who played her pulled it off really well.
Yeah, like Zelda Rubinstein, when she comes in as Tangina Barons, nobody else in that movie matters anymore.
No, she like commands
all eyes
the room.
Are on this very small woman.
Very small. I like when she tells the mom, darling, come down to my level. You're giving me whiplash or something like that.
Yeah, like she's such a joy.
I love her.
Because she's a sassy old woman and you really like sassy women for some reason.
In a certain context.
Yes. Weird how that works.
Like she's playful, but she knows her shit.
Mm-hmm, she really does.
And like, I think that's part of the reason that there were 2 more movies is because Tangina's just the best.
She was in all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was only in 1 and 2. I don't remember her in the 3rd one.
No, she was in the 3rd one.
We're not going to talk about that.
No, well, I might watch the 2nd one, but we will not watch the 3rd one. So I've heard too many bad things about it.
We just won't talk. There was only 2 movies in it.
And a remake. Yeah. But I do like, this is when she tells Carol, tells Carol Ann to go into the light because she's trying to get her to get the ghosts that are following her to essentially pull a bait and switch trap, I think is what's going on here.
Yeah, like trying to get all the ghosts to like basically run at her and like yank her away at the last second. Just be like, "Ha, fooled you! Cross over!" Like pull the old Tom and Jerry.
And then they finally do go into the room, and I think the closet is still a portal and all, like, you can see all the energy coming off it, and I do like the tennis ball thing they do, where they just throw the tennis balls through, and then he's like, "Oh, it's got my handwriting on it!"
Covered in slime, but it's got my handwriting.
Well, another thing Ghostbusters took from this movie, the slime.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it, but like the fact that this came out 2 years before Ghostbusters did, and bears a lot of interesting similarities. Well, that's just...
They get slimed in the first movie, too, by Ecto and a couple other things, I think. And then there's a second movie with the slime in the sewers, but yeah.
Yeah. Again, not saying anything, just saying.
Just pointing it out.
And then when everything with the rope and what they do is such a tense scene, like, and I get it as a parent, like, I completely get it where you're like, hey, I'm gonna take this risk to save my child. You know, I like how she's the one that does it, too.
We just gotta talk about Tangina in that scene. I'm gonna go in after her. No, let me do it. I'm her mother. You've never done this before. Neither have you. You're right. Go on.
Okay, go on. Does she have a little accent?
I think she does, yeah.
I love how she talks.
I do like that. That was so good. She's like, either have you, she's like, okay. Like, I love that.
Enough, okay, you go.
And she's just such a great actress. I love Zelda Rubinstein. Like, she's been in a lot of other movies, and I've seen a lot of things with her in it, and she's just a joy.
Where the actress that plays the character Diane, JoBeth Williams, she is great in this.
Yeah, she is.
I don't think I know her from anything else. I'm looking through her list right now. The mother.
I liked her in this. Her and her Farrah Fawcett hair.
Oh, she's in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I've seen that movie.
I feel like I have.
She's in Jungle to Jungle. I've definitely seen. I used to own that movie. So, okay, I've seen her in a couple things.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. She got an upcoming movie still coming out, actually. Not Without Hope, an upcoming American survival thriller film.
Those sound like Lifetime movies.
Yeah, it does. It's Zachary Levi, the real life sole survivor of 2009 boating accident that took the lives of NFL football players.
Oh no!
So that's what she's in currently.
Oh no!
But yes, it does sound like a Hallmark movie. But Zachary Levi is probably not then.
Oh no, it's probably worse. Oh no!
How to Hurt Ken. But I really like how she goes into the thing with her going into the other dimension. I think it's also really well done because they don't show anything. Like, you see the rope is tied to her. She kisses her husband and then she jumps through. And then shortly after that, she comes out the other end and just covered in goo, holding Carol Ann.
Yep, and that's it. It shows. It doesn't tell. It doesn't fill in things. It just, this is what happened.
You have to use your imagination. What is in that closet?
And I think it works well, like, because you didn't need to see anything. Like,
that's why that's one of the main reasons I hated the remake. The stupid little drone and all the monsters, and
I don't remember any of this other than the drone.
They go take a drone and go in the closet, and they see all these stupid monsters. I hated it.
I can tell.
Sorry.
But no, I get it. It's because this first movie means a lot to you, and then they remake something, and then they make it trash. I mean, that was a thing at around 2014, 2015. That was a thing. I mean, we had that Friday the 13th. We had Nightmare on Elm Street. They were trying to reboot everything.
Yeah, they were. All the classic.
Except Friday the 13th, it's actually pretty good.
I've
only ever seen the first movie of that series, and I did not like it.
I got somebody's signature, didn't I?
Yes.
2009 one is actually really good.
I'm curious about it, but I just, yeah.
Are they done now with Friday the 13th?
Nobody owns the rights are in turmoil, so.
Yep.
How about Halloween? Are they done with that too?
Supposedly, but we'll see.
No, Friday the 13th has a lot of rights issues of who owns what, and it's been in court. That's why the game just got taken off the air, because they couldn't do anything with it because there were rights issues.
No.
But that's so. Then after the family members come out of the goo, they put them in the bathtub, and then they both start to wake up.
Yep, and that's when Tangina says, "This house is clean."
my favorite line in the whole show.
You made a comment too, right? You're like, yeah, this is the line, and the way she says it with on camera too for the camera.
Yeah,
like, this house is clean.
I love her. I will never stop loving her.
And so about now is when you got to start wondering what's going on. Because this
You're
seems like
like-
it's over, but there's like 20 some odd minutes left.
Right? You're like,
This is where I was tricked. You see them
I see what you mean.
packing up the house, and I'm like, oh, the movie's almost over. And I checked the timing. I'm like, not almost over, but this feels like an ending.
It could have been.
It could have,
I mean, kind of it was an ending.
but not the ending of the film. But yes.
No.
And then you also, Diane, part of her hairs went gray from her experience of going through the other dimension. I really liked that touch.
I respect that.
Nightmare on Elm Street much.
Oh, that would happen. That happened to her too, doesn't it?
Yeah, when
Yep.
did that come out, Ken?
Nightmare on
That's
Elm
later.
Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
87?
I think.
So they took it from this movie.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, it's a thing. If you go through really big trauma, your hair can turn gray.
84. It's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. So I think that's a real thing that your hair. I mean, some people just will have gray hair just in general, but I think like big trauma can do that to your body.
If my hair is striped like that, gray in the front, I would not dye it. That would be the coolest thing. I'd look like Rogue.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. So. Yeah, and then she goes up to she goes up to put hair dye on, and then like also this movie doesn't do any nudity, and I was okay with that. I mean, this is the only close they start getting a little close to it here, where you have her take a bath, and you have like the dog watching her, which is supposed to be the idea that she's being watched, but it's a dog. Just what they do. They just watch you. Like I'm keeping you safe.
Are you gonna give me food?
That too. So, but I mean, I'm happy this movie didn't show boobs at all, and it could have, but it chose not to.
Yeah.
Is this where we have the bedroom scene?
Yes. Well, you have a couple of scenes right around here, but you have she's taking a bath, then she goes to bed. Then the boy is getting choked by the clown and gets pulled underneath the bed.
How'd you like that?
We should have seen boob because she was hanging upside down and had a t-shirt on.
But she wasn't actually upside down.
I know, but Nightmare on Elm Street again?
Yes.
I mean, that is just. Oh god, don't remember what dancing movie it was that did that, but
Flashdance?
no. There was like an old, I think it was a Fred Astaire movie that had the rotating set,
Yes.
and I don't remember what it was, but that's like you can't say everything stole from Poltergeist. Poltergeist stole stuff too.
Right.
Nobody's perfect.
No, let's say they inspired it. They inspired several other movies.
I mean, the whole thing with like her on the ceiling and going across the walls because the ghost is kind of attacking her. I think it's cool.
It's a little messed up though.
It is because it's a little bit of sexual assault too.
The pervy ghost, okay?
I mean, the ghost's supposed to be an old man, so it fits.
Well, I mean, they've already been canceled by life, so I don't know what else you can
That's
do.
fair. But at least you don't get like anything actually like it kind of shows, but it's a little bit like I didn't even pick it up until the YouTube videos I watched multiple of them and made a comment about it about how it'd be kind of sexual assault.
Oh.
I didn't catch that.
By
So
a ghost?
yeah, because like she's kind of fighting on the bed and before she goes around the room on the ceiling and the walls. But it just but I mean also they didn't do nudity. They didn't do some of the other stuff that this movie could have done. They keep her shirt on and she's just in panties like so.
Them were cute panties. See.
But the kids are locked in the room because she tries to get to her kids because they're screaming because one boy just got attacked by a clown doll that they should have burned, but they didn't. I would have thrown that damn doll in the pool.
He didn't like the doll either.
I know. Then why did they make it in this room?
So maybe
Put it in the basement. I'm sure that rich house had a basement.
Maybe
No, California. Never mind. No basement.
No.
It probably had an attic. It looks like it.
That's where the ghost lived at.
Yeah, put the clown up there. He's already a ghost, so why not? But then the mother is trying to run to the neighbors and falls into the pool. And this is when the movie really gets intense. And I like it.
Oh, man.
I like it when she's in the pool, all of a sudden the bodies start popping out with her.
Yeah. And there's talk that, they used human skeletons.
Oh, they did use,
here.
that's true.
I don't know if that's true or not.
That is true.
I don't know if I can trust it.
Oh, okay. Because I watched multiple things that said that, and they had like I guess it was like they were from India. Like it was just a thing where they would get bodies from India, but I don't know.
Seems so disrespectful to the people. Putting them in a horror movie and they don't even get paid.
Yeah, that they should have gotten at least some billing.
Right? Come on now. Corpse 1. Samuel Johnson.
That is just one of the many things about this that, are a little weird.
Yeah, they could have done that without real bodies.
Yeah, but it was
But
cheaper.
would it look as good?
Probably not. Like
That's the question you
They
gotta
looked
ask.
like fresh out of the coffin bodies.
Mm-hmm. They looked like real bodies for some reason.
They were good. They
I
looked good.
unfortunately had this scene spoiled to me many, many times because of Facebook. There's a meme that would go around, or did you know fact of her with the bodies, and like, oh, did you know those were real bodies? That's how I
see. Just because it's on the internet don't mean it's true. Like that's why I will forever doubt.
It's not believe.
Oh, but when she does, and I think the neighbor, she tried to get the neighbor to help her. I like how she's like, "Come help me," and the wife is like, "You ain't going nowhere. Screw her." I like that because that was very realistic.
They're like hearing the things, and what on earth is making that noise? And and they're just crappy neighbors.
I really do appreciate that long hallway shot you get here, where she's running to the room, and the hallway just gets longer and longer for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's a great scene.
The Shining. That's
I love it when people do that move.
I know it's a common thing, but I liked it here.
It was good. It was well done here.
Yeah. And that's just such a simple move. You just pull the camera back while zooming the lens in forward. And it gives you that look of like expanding space within an area. It's like, oh, that's messed up.
And she does end up getting the kids out of the room. I think there's a small scene where the beast tries to like come out of the door or something, like the ghosty beast thing. Yep. But I know I put in my notes, she does get the kids out of the room, and this is when all the bodies start popping out of the ground.
Yeah.
And the husband isn't even here. I don't remember where the husband went to go finish
he went
up
to
at
the
work.
office, yeah.
Apparently he took forever.
I was going to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least 10 o'clock.
How long does it take to go to the office to quit?
Well, you had to get stuff too. So like,
I mean, good thing he wasn't fired, because he would have had like a minute to grab his stuff and get the fuck out.
If that. But
I had a minute.
He had his boss with him too, right?
Yeah, he brings his boss, and this is when he does the famous, the body, everything are popping out of the ground. He's like, "You did bodies, you didn't move the bodies!" He's screaming at him. I like that.
Yeah. Oh my god, so good.
The boss
so
is
good.
just like, what's going on?
It's corny.
Friends, it's the yellow is one of the cars you see get hit by a coffin coming out of the ground. It's supposed to be a reference to The Shining.
The hallway wasn't a reference.
Oh yeah, they did have a yellow beetle in that, didn't they?
Yeah. I know how you feel about The Shining. Yeah. Because that movie is not The Shining, right? Pretty much.
It's an interpretation of something. That's fine. But
I do love him yelling at the boss, and you just see more and more bodies popping up, and it really is just their house. I was thinking, like, is the cemetery was just the house, just where the house was built?
No.
Okay.
No. Like they moved that entire cemetery that was up on top of the hill from down in the valley.
Oh, okay. And it's pretty big when you do see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you move the bodies?
It's cost too much, and it
does cost a lot, to be honest, to dig up.
Yeah.
Getting the bodies mixed up with a tombstone, but then who would know anyway?
Nobody would, because they have to dig up the body to find out. It only would know if there's like a DNA case years later.
Yeah,
it's not Grandpa.
Who would know if you don't move them in the first place? So
nobody until they start coming out.
Well, they start haunting.
And then they get in the car, and then the oldest daughter has been gone for a good chunk of this movie, and then she gets dropped off by her boyfriend, and she has a hickey on her neck. Oh, I do love one comment she makes. They say, "Oh, we're going to that hotel." She's like, "Oh, I know that place." She's like, "What?" And her daughter just walks off. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one.
And then they drive off, and then they go, and then the house gets sucked into a vortex.
Yeah, I don't
understand.
No, I get it. I'm just not sure if I like it.
It seems a little extreme.
Yeah, that was just. I don't think I like that scene.
Like, I didn't understand it. Like, did it really need to do it? Couldn't you just have it like crumble or something, or bodies just keep popping? Like, I don't know. It just seemed odd to me. But
like all the ghosts fly out like in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, just like in Ghostbusters.
What? It would have been funny, or it would have been better than the.
And then they go to a motel, and I was just kept thinking they go to the motel and he pushes the TV outside, and I'm like,
it's raining.
The motel is not going to be okay with that, sir.
I don't think he cares. First off,
I don't think
he does. But couldn't he put it in like the bathroom and just unplug it or something? I don't know. It just bothered me. I'm like, you can't just push it outside.
Sure, you can. Watch him.
I'm pretty sure he did. And after all that, I don't blame him.
No, I don't think they're ever gonna watch TV again. It's a book family from now on.
Are you sure about that?
No, why?
It might well be.
There's 2 other movies, so I think they watch TV again.
No. It's a little bit different.
I can't remember what the
A second movie? I just know there's an old guy as the villain.
Yeah, Kane, my boy Kane.
I love him. He's so good in this movie, or in that movie.
He really is. The only reason I think 2 is worth watching. That and Tangina, of course.
I love
I am curious about 2 now. I really am curious about 2. I went from having 0 interest in this to being somewhat curious about 2.
I have both Funko Pops.
Like 2's not great, but it's
better than 3.
It's better than 3, and like nothing compared to this.
No, I feel like they rehash a lot of things.
Okay, like yes, they do, but a lot of things rehash this movie. Like we've been talking throughout this whole thing about how, boy, it's sure kind of weird that Ghostbusters does a lot of similar things, and yeah, it is kind of weird, isn't it? I said in the group chat for this episode before, our private group chat, here's some behind the scenes stuff, listeners, that while I was watching it, I was like, oh, wow, so Insidious just stole wholesale from this movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, and I saw it once, so can't quite
Like,
recall.
they even got, like, the kindly spiritual medium and the tech guys that are documenting everything. And
But it's a little boy, not a little girl.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Tomato.
Like, I'm not saying it's bad or it should feel bad for doing that. Like, there's a reason that this movie is considered a classic.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good movie. And I really like what Insidious does as far as updates to, the ideas that were presented in this movie.
No, I have to rewatch it.
I really do think that it's a good movie, but it definitely owes some stuff to Poltergeist. And I feel like a lot of modern horror movie does.
I agree now after watching this too. And that surprised me.
It's pretty wild.
I didn't realize how important of a movie this is. Like for the horror genre. Like I did not realize that.
Of course it is.
So it made me appreciate it a lot more. All right, any other things you want to say about this movie?
I'll tell you what I'm glad we didn't spend a lot of time on. Everybody calls this movie cursed. If you want to know more about how this movie is supposedly cursed, Everybody's Mother has this on their YouTube channel.
Right.
They made a series called Cursed Films all about it. It's not a cursed movie. It was just hit with a lot of unfortunate events around it. Like, it's kind of a bummer, and it's, I don't want to talk about it because, I don't know, it's sad.
It really is.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, the only movie that I know of that I consider cursed is Omen. I do consider Omen might have been cursed when they were making it, because there's a lot of freak shit that happens in that movie.
And some people will say that Twilight Zone was cursed, and it was cursed with, incompetence. But, like, there's a difference between an actual curse and just bad fucking luck.
Yeah, because there were just some bad things that happened to these actors and actresses, but... So
the guy who plays the villain in number 2, that was his last film, right?
Yes.
Yep.
But it wasn't because of he had it, he had a disease. Like, he knew it.
Old.
Yeah.
He was old.
That too. I think he had cancer. But, he knew it. It wasn't like it just surprisingly happened. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go out. I might as well make a movie.
So that's what he really looked like?
Yes.
Oh, that's sad.
But that's not like the sad part or some, like when you think about like what happened, other things that happened to some of the actors, but it's not something that's not cursed. Yeah. I mean, Omen had when we cover Omen someday, we'll talk about that.
We're going to dive deep into that one.
Omen's a great movie.
Yeah. And that legitimately had the makings of a real curse. If you're going to call shit cursed, know what a curse is. This was just unfortunate. It's a sad version of Ironic by Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, that is fair. That is a very fair statement, actually. All right, any last things you want to say, or should we go to Shelf, Stacker, Box?
I think I'm good.
Okay. And Tiffany, why don't you go first?
Shelf. 100% Shelf. I love this movie, and I'll watch it again and again. Maybe with my husband.
I mean, you say that, but you haven't watched it once since we've been together.
It's still a shelf. Leave me alone.
That's fine. It can still be a shelf. I'm just, when you say you're going to watch it over and over again, I'm like,
How do you know I haven't watched it by myself?
Because you haven't talked about it.
Oh, okay. Fair.
You tell me what you watch.
It's fair.
So, all right, I'll go next. I'm going to put this on the shelf too. I had a good time. I enjoyed this movie. And the more after we watched it, the more we talked about it, the more I looked up stuff about it. I appreciate it a lot more. It's my kind of horror movie. Not too violent. That helped.
Creepy clowns.
Yeah, handled to a degree. So I liked it. They go on the shelf. And what about you, Ken?
I'm going to put this on the stack. It's fine. I can respect where it comes from. I can respect the impact it had on both filmmaking and the horror movie scene in general. It's not more than a once in a while watch for me, though. Like, it's not for me. It's too treacly. Treacly. It's too sweet.
Okay.
Like, caustically sweet.
Treacly.
It's got diabetes sweet.
Because it has a happy ending?
Yeah.
No, horror movies aren't supposed to have happy endings.
No, they can have happy endings sometimes, but those aren't the ones that interest me.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
And, not every movie is going to be for everybody. So this is just one of those ones that just is not for this particular kid.
I'm just happy it's a movie that I liked. Not everything I can't always say it every time we cover a horror movie on this podcast.
No, have you ever put one on the shelf?
I have. A few.
Horror?
Yeah, I have some that I like.
Yeah, no blood, no dismemberment.
I don't think Hereditary made it to the shelf. I'm pretty sure I can tell you that much. I don't think Midsummer did either. So, they're
shame.
Great movies, but I have a certain type of horror that I like, and this fit that.
You like suspense thriller horror.
Yes. Like Halloween is one of my favorite movies.
Suspense thriller.
All right, I think that's everything we need to say, so I'll just go to plugs. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Also, check out Bill Tucker, The Gamer Looks at 40. And if you want to support this podcast, we do have Patreon. As little as a dog, you vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 every month. Currently 2, depending on when you hear this. You might not know when you're going to hear this, but yeah, there should be 2. And we have a Discord. Please join Discord if you want to be in the show, if you want to chat with us, if you want to suggest things for the show. You can do all that on there. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, TikTok, and rate and review us wherever you get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So long.